Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good. I'm glad everybody's having a great day. I know I am because I'm here with you guys, which I've been looking forward to this all week. I'm really excited to share everything that I've learned with you, and I hope you get everything out of it that I have so far. And thanks for being in the group. If you're watching this on replay, you might not be in the group. It's my Facebook group, Taking Your Power Back. This webinar is an introduction to your superconscious, to your higher self. And I wanted to introduce my group members to their superconscious. So, hi guys. You don't know, my name's Breah. And my group members on Facebook, they're very special to me. And so I just wanted to give them a little treat and give them a recode today and introduce them to their superconscious. And group members, if you're watching, thank you very much for following me and listening to what I have to say. And I hope you get everything out of this that you possibly can. All right. So basically, today is an introduction to your superconscious. And I just want to thank you for joining me. And I want to start out by telling you a little bit about myself. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease in about 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. I had hypothyroidism since the birth of my second daughter in 2005. So I'd been dealing with that whole time. But come 2015, 2016, things started to get a little haywire with my health. I started gaining weight, not feeling good, having really bad headaches, and then which developed into migraines just about every single day for a full year. And finally, they figured out, my primary care figured out that I had Hashimoto's and immediately sent me to a specialist. And of course, they were both pushing for my thyroid to be removed. That was going to be the treatment of choice, basically. And I wasn't having that. I thought that was a bad decision. And I knew there was a better way. And so that set me on a mission to heal myself, to become my own advocate, my own doctor, my own physician, and figure out what the heck was going on. Why did this all of a sudden, happen? Why did I get hypothyroidism in the first place? I figured it was due to pregnancy, but I always, in the back of my mind, thought it would work itself out too. But once, once I was back to me again and everything, all my chemistry in my body was back to me, was back to normal. But it didn't. It got worse. Of course, my diet wasn't good either. So that had a lot to do with it, that I found out. That led me to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in New York. Amazing school, amazing school. I got certified as a nutritional health coach, an integrative nutritional health coach. Very important. It really opened the door to get me here, because that led me to find, or to continue seeking, my healing process. While at IN, I found Sarah Wilson. She was one of the speakers, the guest speakers, and she had a program, I Quit Sugar. And so I followed it. It was a 21-day program. Totally changed my life, reset my system, got me back to running probably better than I ever have been. Seriously, it felt that way. So amazing. I was able to get off all my meds. I was able to show my primary care physician that, hey, look, you could do this. Like, I didn't need surgery. I did it with diet and cutting out my sugar and resetting my system and, you know, really taking my control back, my power back. Right. So after that, after Sarah's, that led me to find, oh my gosh, I just forgot her name. Anyway, it's for gut functionality, basically. You're learning your microbiome, you know, that was amazing too, changed my life. I was certified as a gut health specialist. I forget her name, I'm sorry, the school's in Canada. And then I went on to find EFT, Louise Hay. I'm sure some of you guys know about them. And then, of course, excuse me, my lip itches. And, you know, that helped me heal a little bit more, you know, as it would if you're working and doing the steps that you find to do, right? And I still felt pulled, like there was something else. There's just one other thing. And I knew if I found it, that everything would be complete. My core purpose here would be solved and I would be ready to get going on my mission to, you know, what it is I'm here to do. And I think that led me, well, I know it led me to Abraham Hicks, watching incessantly, religiously on YouTube. And in the middle of one of those videos, my mentor, teacher, trainer, Mr. Christopher Duncan, his ad came on, and I couldn't, you know, usually you get the ad and you just, as soon as it says skip, you skip it, right? Well, this one I didn't. It was his demonstration that he had done over in Australia with two women who had stage fright. And he took them through the recode process, introduced them to their superconscious, gave them the education they needed before that. And it was amazing to see, you know, like they started out up there like shaking and crying and visibly upset, like very uncomfortable, you could tell. And when it was done, one of the young ladies was, you know, ready to lead the class, ready to kick Chris off stage. It was just phenomenal. And so I knew I had to go deeper. And that's what brought me here. That's why I'm here sharing this with you, because this is that truth that I was searching for. This was that last puzzle piece. And I found it. And now I get to share it with you, because it's like a superpower that we've had this whole time, but we've been, you know, programmed to forget. So I want to introduce you to your superconscious. And, you know, once I started Chris's, Mr. Duncan's, well, first I joined up for the 5-day superconscious transformation course on Facebook. And then after that, I joined his masterclass. And then not maybe a month later, probably not even that long, I was joining his certification to become certified in his magnetic mind method, which is basically helping others get connected and move all the blocks and resistance that they've had in their way to becoming the person they want to be or achieving the goal they want to achieve. That's what this is all about. You know, we were here, we were put here to create, to go on adventures and have fun and experience everything we have here. And how can we do that if we keep having roadblocks? You know, if we keep wanting to give that huge speech up on stage, but yet you're scared to death of public speaking. So you're never, you know, you're going to find your way around that one and try to do everything else you can, but you're still not going to accomplish the goal that you wanted to in the first place, right? And we all know that we have some area of our life that we have that roadblock in, or we have that fear or anxiety or negative belief, you know, a family belief that's been passed down, right? Because generational beliefs, they're a thing and they do happen. And that's another thing we can shift and we can move out of the way. So I was privileged to be able to be one of the first 500 people to be certified in this work. And I think that's amazing. Huge accomplishment, right? First 500 in the world. Like, this process has not been anywhere except at his company, Conscious Education Company in Australia. And I'm so happy to be part of this movement and bringing it to you. So he called it the Superconscious Rapid Recode Method or process, redesigned it and named it Magnetic Mind. Because, you know, magnets, when they attract something, they just have this pull, this magnetic pull, right? Well, that's where we want to get our brain. That's where we want to get that law of attraction, right? That's the center of where that comes, where we create that. That's where we want to get that magnetic pull from. And I'm going to show you and walk you through that and tell you how that is and how this works. So just be patient, okay? But this webinar, my intent is I want to make sure that you're ready to go through this process in case you come back and visit me, or in case you do decide to let me be your coach and help you design and create the life that you would absolutely love living. It's really important that you watch this entire process, because most of this webinar is the education that your superconscious, your unconscious, and your self-conscious, they all need. We all three of us, all three of you, we need that education. So we know, basically we're training the superconscious how to create the treatment plan that is required to do the recode process. So in order to do that, you need to get all of the education, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So we need to give you a little education so you have all the instructions that you need for even you to be able to go back in and do this on yourself, because that's possible too, which is so cool, right? So cool. Okay, calm down, Breah. Most of this webinar is education. I'm going to be sharing some codes. I'll be teaching your superconscious. And I really want to make sure that you have a great session with me. And so I got to make sure that all of you, each aspect of you, is understanding this work, knows how it works and why it works, right? Because that's information we need before we go into something important that involves, you know, our conscious, our mind, our body, right? So by the end of this webinar, you will learn why this work is so different. You'll learn why you failed in the past to accomplish what you wanted to. That's including, you know, generational lines, you know, it gets deep. And you're also you're also going to know at the end of this webinar whether you're ready to step into being that powerful creator that you are. You're going to have all the knowledge that you need. You're going to have a little understanding of just how vast this is. It's going to be a little dip of your toe into the ocean of knowledge that we have at our fingertips. More on that in a minute. Okay. So I want to make sure that you get the most out of this. So we're going to be here for about 45 minutes, hopefully an hour at the most. I'll go as fast as I can. If you guys have questions, let me know. And if you're watching this on replay, yeah, please message me in the group and ask me your questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And so I would like you to get a piece of paper and a pen, or open a Word document. Get as comfortable as you can. Get in a spot where you're not going to be disturbed, where you can focus. And really take the time to get into this. Really listen and absorb this. Keep an open mind. Our process is respectful. It's ensuring that all aspects are understanding how this process works, and that all aspects are in agreement to create this treatment plan, and move those resistant blockages, per se. And this process is going to change everything for you. And just keep that in mind. There's been huge transformations that have been reported so far, because you know what, we are new. This is a new process. This is, slowly getting out there, but, well, not slowly. It did at first, but now it's growing rapidly, and more people are hearing about it, and now you are too. People have reported. We have 2 students actually, coaches probably by now. One of them is for sure. They were legally blind, and they got their eyesight back. They regained their eyesight. They can legally drive now. They can read a book that they never could before. What? Come on. Like, who knew we had this ability, this power within us? I didn't know, but that's really, really amazing. There's been people who have got off their insulin. They no longer have diabetes. They no longer have to worry. They are feeling younger. Their arthritis is going away. Bones are healing faster. We have a student currently right now who was told that her leg was broken. I forget what kind of break it was, but clearly it was broken. She was in pain. She went into one of our meditations that we're taught, in which, if I get to work with you, you'll know too. She went into meditation for the next about 24 hours, she said, because she was waiting to go see the next physician. She's over in the UK, so their doctor visits are a little different than here in the US. So she had to wait a little while, but that whole time she was staying focused on the meditation, staying focused on her end result, which you'll learn a little bit about later. And when she went in, she didn't have a break. They saw no break on the new x-ray. And she showed them the first x-ray, and they couldn't explain it. But she could, and we can. And pretty soon you can too. So, it's just not little things like that, huge things like that, that get me so excited to share this with you. And I call it a miracle. Some people might not. But yeah, they all defied what the experts said they couldn't. And by my definition, that's a miracle in our, 3D definition of miracles, right? I think it's amazing, beyond amazing. We even have family lines restored, generational patterns, dysfunctional patterns that are broken and stopped and recoded, and future generations don't have to now go through the repetitive, that cursed generational curse that a lot of families have that talk about, the curse of the big boned, or she's on the overweight side. I know I heard cousins say that a lot when I was growing up, or she takes after Aunt so-and-so, because, right? All that stuff can be rewritten. Money blockages, scarcity mindsets. Your kids, your grandkids don't have to continue living this life in lack, because we're powerful. Law of attraction is true. You just got to be in the right structure. You got to understand the way the law was written. And Mr. Duncan miraculously figured it out. With every teacher he went to, he took a little piece of everybody and put it together, and they all fit. It was like everybody had a little bit of the information that was needed, but as soon as it all came together, bam. Truth. The truth. And if I may be so bold to say, I believe this is the truth that Jesus was trying to bring us in the Bible. And I believe that this is the truth that the church at the time was trying to cover up and keep from us and benefit off of it. Well, we didn't, right? That's for another episode. So, this, to me, this goes way, 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 way deeper than what we're going to get into today. And I'm not an expert on it, but it's been talked about for quite a while. Many people in our past have talked about this. I apologize, I don't have his name with me, but the first psychic back in 40s, 50s, I think, he talked about the field. We've heard of the ether, right? Maybe some of us have. It's true. And, the thing that I love about this is it's giving us our power back. We get to take it back. We get to take control back. We don't have to sit by and let the cancer overtake our body or our family's body, or have to deal with diabetes the rest of our life, or have to ride the bus to work every day because we can't afford a car or car insurance. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Once we learn this process, once we learn this amazing side of us that we forgot, the world is our oyster. And I can't wait. I really can't. And I hope that you decide to join us, because it's going to be amazing. Okay, enough said. So, you know, the world is the world, right? And the world is out there to diminish our power. It always tells us, well, what problem do you have? Well, you need to go fix it. And it's probably something that is wrong with us, right? We either don't know enough, or we're too loud, or we don't wear the right clothes, or we're not from the right family, or we're not in the right tax bracket, or whatever it is, right? That's the world. We have to go fix it. We have to go change it because there's something not right with us. We got to go fit in. We've been oriented to that structure our whole life, pretty much, because that's all we know. That's what we're taught. That's what's here. That's what we see. That's what's practiced. This is putting us in a structure that is only going to give us more of what we don't want. Everything we know about law of attraction, the way we're taught it is working against us. Okay, and I'm gonna explain that. So hold on. You know, you've structured your life in a way where it will never resolve that issue to get where you want to go. It won't. This is because we're actually powerful creators of our reality. We create what we get. You've heard the saying, you know, you reap what you sow, or like attracts like. You give off bad vibes, you're going to get bad vibes, right? That's similar, but we're doing it in a sneaky way. And it's a way that we don't catch until we're shown and taught about structures. And what we find is most people, okay, they're trying to create a health transformation, right? They want to get rid of some illness. They want to create the body that they've always wanted. Or let's say money. Okay, they have had a scarcity mindset their whole life. They're tired of being broke. They want to be rich, right? They want to have a ton of money and not have to worry, right? Financially abundant. Who wouldn't? Or how about the loving relationship, the husband or the partner that they've dreamed of their entire life? They're ready. They're ready to attract that person, right? The thing that they don't realize, and that none of us realized, is that we're so busy observing, paying attention to what we don't want. It's creating a competing intention in our field where everything comes from, right? Say our storage room of all of our wishes, per se. So let me show you. Make sure I can see you guys. How's everybody doing? Good, good. So, okay. Let me pull this up here so you guys can see. How's that? Is that good? A little bit? Hopefully I won't trip. Okay, so let's say that person that doesn't have enough money, okay? That's their current reality, right? Their CR. Can you see that? Maybe if I turn the light down, you guys can see better. There, maybe that worked. Okay, so that's your CR, right? Your current reality. So under this current reality, there's, I don't want to be broke, right? I don't want to be broke. What they do want would be their desired reality, their DR. And that would be, I want to be rich, right? I don't have money. I want money. This is good, or this is bad, and this is good, right? What happens, okay, when they typically say, I don't want this, but I do want this, that their desired reality is better. This all sounds great. It sounds what we do every day, right? So this is the way that we structure our life a lot of the times, right? We see the problem, we're the observer, and we observe the problem. And what we're actually doing is we've observed both of these into reality. We've made 2 points. I don't want and I want, good, bad, right? And so the bad thing, what's funny about humans, our mind, and the way our psyche works, the bad thing is that we've got an identity. This creates an ID, an identity, or an aspect, or a personality trait, per se. Like, so you have an ID, and let's say this ID, okay, let's say, okay, the ID is, okay, let me back up. This identity is the domain of the unconscious brain. It always speaks in feelings. The unconscious always speaks in feelings. And the ID is part of that unconscious domain, right? And so the identity, it feels scarcity, or maybe it feels lonely, or maybe they feel ill. So as soon as they feel that, they desire to have more money, to be healthy, to not be lonely, to feel loved. It sounds very logical, right? The problem is that identity has lived this way for a very long time, since the ID became an identity, right? As you take action, meaning as you move from here to here, I don't have money, so I'm gonna, okay. As soon as we take our don't wants and try to move towards our wants, our identity gets scared, okay? And it throws up a fear response. So let me just circle this so we don't get confused. So our identity throws up a fear response, meaning it throws up thoughts or feelings that try to stop you from going towards what you want, because it's scared. Now, think about it from ID's perspective, okay? If we were to achieve this abundance in health or wealth or love or this better reality, this ID would no longer be alive. It would have no purpose to serve anymore. Its purpose was created to keep us safe at one time. So stick with me. So it gets scared. You say, I want money. I don't have money here. I want money. I'm going to go get money. Your ID is like, oh, no, no, no. If you go get money, then that means my scarcity mindset is going to have to go away. Because if I have money, then that means I'm not scarce anymore. I'm abundant. And that is in direct contradiction to who I am and what I am. And that means I have to die. And I am here to keep us safe. That's my job. That's why I was created. And that's what I'm going to do. So as you go for that, it's so funny because the more you realize this, the more you see it play out. Oh, it's like, really? I did that? I did do that. So our ID throws up, right? It tries to stop us. So it throws up fear responses, which is thoughts, feelings. I'm not good enough. I'm not allowed to have that. You get those really yucky feelings like, oh, I think I made a bad decision, or procrastination. Yeah, I want to go do that project. Yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. Right? We've all been there, I'm sure. That's a fear response. So you get taken off track because instead of going for what you want, you now say, oh no, I got to go get a new job to make more money. And that means I need more schooling. So, oh darn, fear response is you don't know enough. You can't do that. You're not capable. You got to go learn some more things. So therefore we go and instead of going straight for what we want, we come all the way back around here and we fix ourselves. So we think, right? We go to school, we get more education, or we get a better job, right? Or we go on a diet. Do you guys see? So you get taken off track, right? So you're not creating anything. But what you have created is an oscillating structure, one that the world is set up in for you to go solve your problem over and over to keep you in it. Does that make sense? And so that's why we never see the reality that we want. We never see our goals come to fruition. That's why I have a ton of certificates and nothing to show for it. Or that's why I feel I always have to go get more education, or go to another class, or read another book, or go take another course, right? Thankfully, this is my last one, and I'm thankful for that. Because we're not broken. We don't need to fix anything about us. We were just told that. We were made to think that. In our brains, our unconscious, all parts of us are always listening. So instead of going for what you want to create, you get stuck in this pattern. I don't feel good, so I'm going to go to fix myself to feel good. I got to go fix myself to feel good. And then you're all the way back around. I don't feel good anymore. I want to feel good. And then I got to go fix myself. Right? Do you guys see how that's set up? So, okay, for example, seminars. So your current reality, okay? Your current reality is worse, right? Hopefully you guys can read my writing. See? Oh, that's a glare. Is that a little better? Maybe? How about that? Yeah? Okay. So your current reality is worse, and you want to go to your desired reality, right? This is better. So let's say we're talking about health, okay? So I'm ill and I want health, okay? How's that? Maybe that's better. Okay. Okay. So bad health, good health. Okay. Your ID is created. Let me make that clear. ID, I'm a sick person. I always get sick. Every year, I always get the flu. Never fails, right? I know each of us has heard somebody like that in our life, right? Excuse me. So I don't have money. I want money. I'm ill, not ill. I'm in good health. Whatever it is, whatever you decide that this is better, whenever you decide that this is better, your idea is living in opposition to what you want, right? And it's never going to die, right? Would you go and kill yourself for something like that? You know, just to when you have a job, I'm going to keep this person safe, and that's why I was created. And somebody came along and said, no, we got to do it this way. You're like, get out of here. No. That would kill me. And then my job, I would, not be able to do my job, and people would get hurt. We would get hurt. That's not going to happen. We're never going to do that, right? Never. So, it's very stubborn. You simply just end up with that loop. And you end up back in the current reality over and over and over, and that loop can last a lifetime. And you're a seminar person. You've been going to seminars, for personal development seminars, for 30 years. You do all the meditations, changed your diet, gone to course after course, had coaches, had personal trainers. I've done workshops. I've done all these things, right? That all of us have done. And you say, you'll never see, in this structure, you'll never see a successful result ever. Because when you're in the structure that your current reality is not as good as your desired reality, your identity is never going to let you go there. It's going to be a constant internal struggle. It's going to be a constant fear response, right? Boulder in the way, dam built in that river, block in the road. It's always going to put stuff there. Always. So I want you to write this down. We have a saying. You have to be it to see it. Write that down. You must be it to see it. What is it? See, to be it is when you can return back to the creative source of the creative energy that we are. We're it. You be it. And when we be it, you're all realities at once. There's no resistance in your field. All of us are in alignment. All of us meaning, and I'm going to explain right now, in all three of us, super conscious, unconscious, self-conscious, or ego, right? Ego, unconscious, if you want. So instead of being an identity that's in resistance to something that's in your current reality, you take your identity. Okay, so this is your world, right? That's you. This is your current reality. That's what you're living every day, day to day. That's what you're dealing with, right? This is what you want. Man, I wish I had a better house. Wish I had a better house, better car, better job, better body. Wish I wasn't sick all the time, right? If you take your identity up here, outside of your field of information, and take it up to your superconscious, your higher self's perception, viewpoint, you not only get to choose your current reality if you want, your desired reality if you want, or which we have random realities. So when you're up there with superconscious, living out of that aspect of you, you're able to even tap into a random reality. We did it as kids with our imagination, right? So we can create anything we want, including what reality we want to live in, what reality we want to experience while we're here. And everything that we've experienced so far, some of it's been really tough, very tough. Some of it's been very, very beautiful. None of it's wrong, none of it's right. It's all an experience. And that's all superconscious wants to do, is have an experience. So when you're up there, you're able to enter any reality and feel the exact same satisfaction because you're experiencing it. That's all, right? You just want the experience. It's very easy to say, right? You're like, yeah, sure. Whatever you say, Breah. But what if your current reality is sick? What if I'm sick right now? You're saying that I need to feel happy when I'm sick, feeling miserable? Yeah. I'm saying that you need to feel as happy when you're sick as if you were when you were healthy. Exactly the same. I know some of you are probably thinking, I can't feel happy. Have you seen my bank account? Trust me, I know that one. But why are we giving our power to the bank account like that? Especially when we know that we can change it. Because that's the little trick about law of attraction, right? That's the little trick about taking our power back. You must be it to see it. So when your identity realizes that you are the creative force of it all, you can just choose it. Why? Because you'd love to. Not because you have to fix yourself, not because you are broken or something's wrong with you, or you need to get to another level, another tax bracket, so you got to go do this. No. That's the world's way. We don't have goals in this training, in this work. We have choices. Because everything that you want to create already exists on some level of frequency. It's already here. It's already been created. It's just on a frequency that you're not on yet. And so you're just going to have to choose which frequency you desire. Right? And I'm going to show you how to do that. But the one thing you must understand is that if you're in any resistance to any reality, that can't happen. You will not get what you want. You will get what you don't want because that's what you're focusing on. Does that make sense? You're actually not being it. And this is the first thing that I would work with you on if you were my client. Like, you have to be satisfied now with what you have now and desire to create what you love. I'll say that again. You must be satisfied now and still choose to create what you love. Now, I remember when I first heard this, when I was first being taught this, that I needed to be it to see it. Your desire, the desire that you get to fix or improve myself, it's the one reason why I couldn't go get what I wanted. What would the person be who already has the desire you want? How would they be? Are they busy fixing themselves? I don't think so. If you're busy fixing yourselves, you're not the person that already has this, right? You're out of relationship with it. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat, guys, or message me in the Facebook group. What do you think? How is this landing with you guys? I know it's a lot like law of attraction, but it's not, right? Right. Yeah, if you're busy fixing yourself, you're not being the person that has it. You can't grow a forest of abundance planting seeds of scarcity, right? You must already be in the invisible. And then you must do it in the physical to finally have what it is that you're creating. The first thing you must realize is that your current circumstances, they don't have any power over us. They don't have any power over you. You might have an illness, yes. You might have a small bank account, you know, you might be single. But if you give your power to that, if we give our power to that, you're making that bigger than you, right? I'm making my being not good enough, not capable enough, bigger than what I know I can do. You see what I'm saying? If I hadn't taken the action to if I hadn't taken the action to plant that seed, then I would get no return. And we're always making a choice. We choose to not plant that seed, or we choose to plant that seed. We choose what to plant, right? And we like to start out with 4, we call them orientational choices, meaning they orient you. They are like your end result. They are the truth that you're going after, right? So those 4 are: I choose the end result of living a life that I love. I choose to be healthy and vital. I choose to be the predominant creative force in my life. And I choose, which I love this one, to live my true nature and purpose. Because if you really think about those 4 choices, they cover everything that we could possibly have the desired reality of, right? Living a life that I love. Well, in that life that I love, oh, I've got money, I've got I've got a partner, a life partner. I've got a family. I've got, beautiful friends around me. I've got an active career that I love. I've got an active recreational side of me. You know what I mean? Like that everything we want is included in that first choice. This is phenomenal work. And I really hope you guys are getting this. So once we get into these choices, these are the biggest choices that you can have right now. And once you get into them, once we get you into them, I can help you start manifesting other things too. But we got to start with the four core choices, which is very important to have a true choice, because you want your end result to be true and pure, right? You don't want to say, I want financial abundance, but the only reason why you want that financial abundance is to go get the girl. What you really want is the girl, not the money. You see what I'm saying? So structure, very important. And we got to set it up just right. It's like finally having the key to that lock, and you got to have the right key. Otherwise, the little tumblers in there, it's not gonna line up, right? Well, this is, structure is the key, right? Until you're ready to be it now, right now, you're always gonna create the resistance. You're always gonna create this pattern of going around and around, trying to get where you wanna go. Your identity will always see it as a conflict. You see, having the identity of I'm scarce, it's kept me alive for 50 years. And you want me to go get abundance? That's different. That's scary. You see what I mean? So you've got to be it now. You've got to have the mindset, I'm abundant now. I have abundance all around me. And it's true. If you look, abundance is all around you. All you got to do is think of somebody that doesn't have what you have, and the abundance world opens up for you. And we are very, very, very abundant. But yet we still walk around like we don't have anything, right? We need to change that. And it's the structure. There's no other way to manifest what you want. There's no other way to take your power back. So the first thing we do is make sure you're in the right structure. If you're in the wrong structure, you'll only be able to create what that structure is, meaning an oscillating structure or a stuck one. You just, you're not moving, no. Or flowing structure, which is you're manifesting, you're creating, you're putting it out there and it's coming back. It's a free-flowing river, right? So what is structure? You're probably wondering. Structure is two or more points that are working together. Okay, so my body is a structure. There are many points of information on my body working together, right? So when I hold up this pen, right? When I hold up this pen, I'm in a structure with it. If it's separate from me, I set it on the table, we're no longer in a structure. We're no longer in a relationship. So a structure can be changed even if the material is the same. An example, a rocking chair. So a rocking chair is made out of wood and nails and glue and whatnot, right? Well, you can take that same material, those wood, those nails and that glue, and you can make it into something else. Like, so the structure of the rocking chair is like a pendulum. It's going to move, right? You push it, it's going to move. That's one structure of the rocking chair. You can change it, take that material and turn it into a boat. Now, that boat has a different structure. It's only going to move with the wind, per se. Say it's a sailboat, right? Or you could turn it into a sled. And now it's a structure that you push, it will move. Kind of like the sailboat, right? Yeah, you can make it into a fence. A fence doesn't move. That's a different structure. No matter how much energy you put into it, it's, it's a fence. It's stuck. That's a stuck structure, right? A structure, when energy is put into it, it will resolve in alignment with that structure. So you push that rocking chair and it will rock. You push the fence and it will stay solid. You push that sled, it will move. Does that make sense? They're different, but the same material. It's the same with our lives. The way that you structure your reality and your identity matters whether or not they will move towards what you want. It will either go backwards or forwards, right? It will either go forward or backwards. You must get into the right structure. You have to be in the right structure. So what is the correct structure? The correct structure is you already have it now. And you're just choosing to create things that you love. You're being it to see it. Does that make sense? You're choosing to find your heart and bring it into the world, knowing that you already have your heart. Does that make sense? You're finding things to share, to create. It's such a beautiful place to be. So that's the number one thing. Okay, that's the number one thing. The second big thing that I'm going to help you do is to use your superconscious to remove that resistance. We talked about that, right? That fear response, that's the resistance. That resistance is the opposing force that your identity has created to block you going towards what you want in opposition to it. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Resistance is the opposing force that your identity created to stop you for going for things that are in opposition to it. Okay, so you created it, right? We're powerful creators, we created it. So just so you know, the baby elephant, okay? You know, the baby elephant that was tied up to a small pole, and it pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled on that rope that was around its leg, that was tied to the pole, keeping that baby elephant there. And that baby elephant tried, pulled and pulled with all its might. And it just gave up because it was just wasting energy. It's not going to break. I've tried for days. I can't get out. It's too big. It's stronger than me. As an adult, you tie that same elephant up to the same small pole with the same small rope. And that huge, massive adult elephant now, it doesn't pull. It won't try to pull on that rope, which if it did, it'd be like a little toothpick coming out of a cake, right? But it learned a long time ago that it wouldn't work. That's the same thing with us. That's the same thing that we learned a long time ago. And those things that we learned a long time ago, they're not necessarily true today. We've just kept giving it the power. We have a self-conscious, we have an unconscious, and we have a superconscious, right? There are three memories. There are three aspects of us. Okay, let me draw this. That good? Okay. Get my chair up here. Okay, so we have a self-conscious. See if I can do it like this. We have a self-conscious. We have an unconscious. And we have a superconscious. How much time do I got? I'm running way over. You guys okay? Awesome. Good. Thank you for hanging in with me. I'll try to speed it up. Okay, so self-conscious. Self-conscious, unconscious, and superconscious. Right? The self-conscious sees itself as separate. It sees itself as limited. It experiences everything in polarity, right? Is that better? Is that glare better? Hot, cold, bad, good, right? It's the aspect of you that knows in order to have hot, you must have cold. In order for there to be abundance, there must be scarcity, right? So this is done with polarity. Okay. It's limited, right? And it sees itself, remember I said before, it sees itself as separate, right? So it's separate from everybody else. Sees itself as separate. So this needs to be filled in. Okay, this is us. Need a bigger marker. Kindergartner skills, right? Okay, I need you guys to use your imagination. Pretend this is filled in solidly, right? All filled in, it's solid. Okay. This is a self-conscious. Sees itself as separate, limited. Sees in polarity, right? Do we understand that one? Okay. Many people that are in the conscious creation, they want to deny the negative. Like they're so scared of the negative. In order for there to be good, there has to be the bad. There has to be the negative. It's how it exists. We can't experience anything if there's not limits on it, right? So the self-conscious kind of gets this. And it understands that in order for me to find connection, I must feel lonely. In order for me to feel happy, I need to know how it feels to be sad, right? These are polarities. And the problem is when we get stuck here. Most of us live from here. And it never works because the self-conscious sees things as limited, right? And we all know that feeling, I'm sure. And as I showed you, the self-conscious always sees things as good and bad. I'm going to try to move this way, but it's going to bring me back. It creates like a pendulum swing, right? So it creates a forward and back motion when you're in that structure, right? So this is good, this is bad. Right? You guys see that? Maybe? I can't tell. Oh, can you see that? Okay, so I'll draw it and then I'll, oh yeah, maybe that'll work. We'll do it back here. How about the glare? Okay, there. So yeah, you see pendulum swing, right? It creates this swinging that I'll go to good and then I'll come back to bad. I'll go to bad and I'll come back to good. You guys see that? So as an example, think about food. Okay. If I gave you an ice cream, you want to keep it cold, right? Hey, you better eat that before it melts. It's going to swing back. If I gave you some soup, hey, you better eat that before it cools off. You see that? It's the bottom reality. Things are always going to be in opposition. And so the unconscious, this is where your feelings are. So these are your thoughts. Okay, so your self-conscious is your thoughts. Unconscious is your feelings. Okay, and superconscious is your information. Info. Okay. And so your unconscious is always seeking balance. It's always looking for balance. It always wants balance. So it's always saying, how do I stay alive? How do I need to have balance? Okay, so whatever happened in the past, whatever I experienced in the past, I survived. So let's keep doing that. Okay, so the unconscious just takes the instructions and is here to run your body. So it runs your body, right? Turn my chair back around here. And it's simply been given the instructions that it's going to follow, right? And we all know that our unconscious runs our body on autopilot, right? So just think of all the other autopilots that it's running, that it's doing. Think of all the autopilot instructions it's throwing up into our field to stop us from going where we want to go. Our unconscious is simply the animalistic part of us that has been given the instructions that it's going to go follow. It's that simple. And if you've ever tried to do any deep unconscious work, the problem is you've already had to define the problem. And as soon as you define that problem, as I already told you, you're setting yourself up. Right? We're setting ourselves up to keep going around. That's why people are in therapy for many, many years, because they keep identifying the problem. As soon as you define the problem, you're already setting yourself up for, this is where I am, this is where I want to go. You're setting yourself up for the pendulum swing. And then we're already screwed. It just simply doesn't work. We've been there, we've been here our whole lives, right? What we need to do is come out and up to an aspect of us that very little people work with. Okay? Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious. Oh, my chair stuck. He called it the collective unconscious of the collective imagination. Boy, I'm getting blurry, huh? Maybe that's better. We call it the superconscious. It's a superconscious field, okay? It's an aspect, a personality, a memory of you that's connected to everything, okay? It's a superconscious memory that is physiologically passed down through family. It is a field structure that informs our cells, our DNA, how to act, what to turn on. This is what we call memory number 1. Our unconscious memory, it communicates in feelings. It runs the body. It's easily trained to interpret symbols like language. Boy, I'm really out of focus. Through repetition, it can automate complex tasks, right? Like driving a car or playing a sport, the unconscious, right? Just unconsciously doing stuff. Our self is unconscious to it, right? It's crazy. It's so awesome. We call unconscious memory number 2. We have a self-conscious, this beautiful guy we know as ego. It's our thinking brain. It's our thinking side. It's conscious to the experience that we're having now. This is memory number 3. The active experience is what we're experiencing now. That's what self-conscious experiences. It's what we're experiencing here in the moment. It is made up of both self-conscious and unconscious memories. That's our active experience. It's made up of both. So let me show you. So this is us, right? This is our brain. And this is dormant memories. Dormant memories. And this is active memories. Okay. Outside, this is the active experience, okay? Active memories. Outside of this, we have dormant memories. It can be triggered and brought into the active experience whenever needed, right? So for example, when was the last time you rode a bike? You just accessed a dormant memory. Or if you're old enough, what were you doing on 9/11 when the trade tower was hit in the United States? Or where did you experience your first kiss at? Those are dormant memories. Where did you go to get that? It was stored somewhere. You brought it from its storage spot and pulled it right into the active memory, into your active experience, right? Cool, huh? So on this planet, we have certain rule structures and that everything behaves inside of. There's, I don't know if you've heard of it, Fibonacci sequences, the golden rule, how things are made up. There's a mention that if you studied remote healing or remote viewing, to be able to understand how you can actually remote view something that's non-local, you got to understand there's a field of information out there. If you go to Wikipedia and you look up simultaneous invention, right, you'll find that many of our most famous inventors The inventions they invented, they were invented by different people all around the world at the same time. Because there's a field and we've tapped into it. You can watch birds, right? Flocks of birds in the sky, they all fly together in a field of information. They all know what's going on. They all know where they should go. There's information outside of it. Okay, this information field is a place of intuition, a place of insight, but it's also a place where you get given the instructions of how it is. This field of information is unique to you, unique to your family, and unique to us as a species. It's unique to this planet. So you're not source. You're not the field of information. You're not the full field. You are in that field. Does that make sense? Your superconscious is one drop in the ocean of the source field. Okay, you're a sovereign drop. You have the whole field, but you're simply not the whole field. Okay, one drop is not the whole ocean, right? But everything the ocean has in it is in that drop, right? And what's true is when we connect to our superconscious, this is the only original instructions that's getting passed down. Our superconscious is where everything originates from. So hear me out on this, okay? Your self-conscious just has these thoughts of, I want to have the best life. The unconscious wants to keep everything the same. They're fighting, right? The superconscious is a field of information. And it's eternal. It really doesn't experience anything, but it's just simply giving the information to experience, right? That's all it does. That's all it wants is to give its information for experience. That's what we're here for. It's just simply changeable. Like when you connect to this field and you make a different code that you pass down. Oops, I turned my page. When you go up to the field, when you go up here, you create a new code that you pass down into your feelings and then your thoughts. You're able to move in a different way than you were able to before. So to be it is being up here as superconscious and making the change. So then you can actually make a change, right? Okay, so put it another way. What you're wanting to create is at the end of a river, okay? Let's call it the river of desire. And you're at the top of the river. What you want is down here, and you're up here, right? You're at the top. You're in the current reality. You're in the current of the river. For some reason, you can't move towards what you want, which is your desired reality at the bottom of the river, right? Your thoughts and feelings, they get in the way, right? You can't move to that relationship. You can't move to that health. You can't move to that new business, that new financial security. You just simply can't go because there's things in the way, like a dam. Like a dam was built blocking the water, blocking your path. And as much as you try to go down that stream, you can't because there's these blocks. And where did they come from? These blocks are put there by you, by yourself. They're put there from inherited, okay, these blocks They can be inherited through your family's superconscious and passed down. What? They come from feelings that you formed when you were little, before you could talk. And all that's put there to stop you going to spaces that it views as unsafe, right? Or that's going to make you change and threaten your safety in some way, your security. I mean, okay, we have to acknowledge how great the unconscious is at keeping the body alive, right? Amazing. Look at everything we've done and our body's still going, right? It says if we haven't done it before, it's unsafe. It's not as safe as the way we have been. So we're going to put things in the way so you can't go to what we haven't experienced. The unconscious doesn't really trust the self-conscious because the self-conscious wants to move towards what the unconscious views as unsafe. So the unconscious says, if you're going to go for that weight loss program or that project you've been wanting to accomplish or that speech you've been wanting to give in front of thousands of people, the unconscious says, no. That's going to threaten us. That terrible thing that happened to us when we were little, we got laughed off the stage. That's going to hurt us all over again. I'm not going through that. So I'm going to stop you. I'm going to throw a panic attack in there. I'm going to throw some anxiety. How about a little weight gain? Or how about a flat tire on the way to work? Or how about your car just starts running? Or how about I heighten that fear of public speaking so you can't even get past the thought of doing it? Or how about I give you a sickness? How about if I give you an illness? How about if I give you the flu for the 3rd time this year? Because you want to start that new job or that new project. We can't stay safe like that. We put them, how do we put them in the way? We put them in the way by going to our higher self. Before we were pre-verbal, we created these blocks, this resistance to keep us safe, to survive, to make sure that we belonged. I'm sure you're wondering, how does this work, right? You say, I understand the superconscious. Superconscious, you were there before me. It's connected through my family line and right down through me. It knows how the dam was created, the blocks. It knows how they were created. It has the code that we wrote a long time ago. It's the source code of me. It's the source code of you. So when you connect back into it, we can shift it. We can shift the coding. And when we do that, this allows new feelings to flow, the new current to be able to flow to what you want. Okay, so we shift the code. We recode the instructions. Your superconscious will remember all the resistance, all those blocks. It'll remember every single one of them. And it'll be able to remove it in the perfect way, in the perfect order, just as it had been put in there. So imagine the brain is a football field. Okay? My camera seems really blurry. Maybe that'll help. Okay. So imagine the brain is a football field. We're getting close, guys. Sorry for the long time. Just bear with me. We're almost there. And then I'll be able to answer your questions, or you can, message me some questions that you might have. Imagine our brain as a football field or a soccer field, okay? It's a smooth playing field with no bumps. When the phobia, the negative belief, painful memory, or part of you that becomes active, right? In our active experience and moves onto the playing field, it moves onto the playing field as gopher holes. You know, those little creatures, those little cute little in-ground dwelling guys that dig holes in your yard and leave the mounds of dirt on top, or maybe prairie dogs, you know them as. They leave those little holes, right? And they pop up in a particular sequence. So you can treat the emotion by remembering the sequence of gopher holes and gradually smoothing over the dirt over each of those little holes, one at a time, with a feather. So it's very gentle. And you're going to do that in the remembered sequence. And you're going to repeat this until all the holes disappear. And those little gophers are going to run off and find a new home. Right? This is going to make it possible for you to take that action step toward your desired reality, towards that end result. Now, for this work to truly, truly work as it's designed to, we need to make sure that our desired reality, our end result, is a true choice. Remember, I talked about that earlier. A true choice is something that you choose to have, that you would love to have, to experience or create, just because you would love it and nothing more. You're not going to fix yourself. You're not going to get that new job so you can get more money, so you can get that girl or that boy or fit into that group. No. You're going for it because you just love to, because you would love to have it. Right? So I use the magnetic mind superconscious rapid recode method, which Christopher Duncan created. Well, he learned the recode from a teacher, but he developed it, molded it, combined the structure, the teachings of structure, the teachings of how to focus. What Joe Dispenza talks about, which is our neuroplasticity, right? The epigenetics that we can recode. Our brain is malleable, it's movable, we can mold it, it's not fixed, right? So remember I said we don't have goals, we have choices. So today I want you to experience the recode real quick. We'll go through a fast process, but I want to make sure that we start with a true choice. So I ask you, we have a 5-step method, and I'm going to ask you 5 things, and I'm going to get you in alignment with that. Okay? So it starts with a question. What would you like? What would you like to create? What would you love? Just to love it. Now, for this session, this experience, I would love for us all to stick with one of our core 4. I choose the end result of living a life that I love, because it covers pretty much everything that we could possibly want. And I know that it's a true choice. It's a true ending. It's the end all goal, right? It's the end of whatever other desire that we would want. Why do we want that? Because it would let us live a life that we love. Our end goal is to be happy and to love our life, right? So let's use that choice, but I'm going to go through the other questions just so you know what they are, okay? So first I would ask you, what would you love to create? And then as soon as we go through and we make sure that it's a true choice, I'm going to ask you to go into that choice and feel it. So we're gonna make the first point in the field, okay? We're gonna put our first intent into the field. because we have to make a tension structure. We have to have 2 points. Otherwise, there's nothing for it to create. There's no tension for our reality to move to something else. We got to have tension that pulls it, that makes it change. It's not just going to change if it's floating there by itself, right? So the second step is I'm going to help you put that intent, that living a life I love in the field. And we're going to put it in the field of information, and we're going to say, I choose the end result of living a life that I love. Bam. And then we're going to go into how we're going to feel when we have it. So we're going to close our eyes, and then we're going to allow ourselves to feel it. How would the person feel if they had that already? Imagine that you can imagine, just close your eyes and go into it and feel living a life that you love. How does it make you feel? And get visual with it. Look at the house that you're going to be living in, the friends you're going to be with, the things you're going to do, the people you're going to help, the car you're going to drive, even the clothes you're going to wear, the shopping you're going to do, the trips you're going to take. Picture all that and feel it too. Really connect and feel it. That sets the second point. We're going to bring this, and we're going to bring this down. We have to, into the domain of our feelings. Unconscious, as soon as we do that, as soon as we get into that feeling, the unconscious is going to throw, you're going to feel that resistance. You're going to hear the unconscious say, you can't live a life you love. You don't have enough money to buy that house. There's no way you're going to get that car. You know how much that car costs? You can't do that job. You don't have that education. What are you talking about? Our family doesn't know. Our family doesn't do that. Our family has never left the United States ever. Like, we don't travel, stuff like that. You're not good enough. You're not capable enough. You're not worthy. These are sabotaging beliefs that we learn about in school, and everybody has them. We all have them, and we've all heard them. So we're going to feel that resistance. Step 3, we're going to feel that resistance. We're going to come out, and we're going to compare that to right now. We're going to compare our desired reality to right now. I feel so good when I'm here. And right now, I don't feel so good. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm frustrated, sad, lonely. Here, I'm happy. I'm abundant. I'm loved. I have joy and peace and purpose. Do you feel the difference? And then I'm going to connect with your superconscious. And I'm going to use the commands, the education that we just taught. I'm going to remove all that resistance. So there'll be no more to going and having and living the life that you love. And once we come out of that, once we're once we do that, you're able to just go and choose what experience you want because you would love it. Step 5 is that obvious action that you take, that first step you take towards it. And you'll be shown that, you'll know what the obvious step is. So I've kept you guys here a really long time. I'm an hour over. I thank you for holding on. My apologies. Your time is very important to me, and I'm sorry for going over and taking advantage. I do really appreciate it, though, because this is an experience you don't want to miss out on. And I didn't want you to miss the education because you need it. So everyone who's watching now and who's watching on the replay, I like you to tell me what you think of all this. Tell me how this has landed. Tell me what you think. Would you guys be willing to meet with a coach? Would you be willing to have a coach to show you and guide you every day, helping you move through your resistance, helping you master this truth so you can work on yourself? Wouldn't that be amazing? Guys, having your own personal coach guiding you through this, keeping you on track, keeping you focused, keeping you in the right structure so we're not falling back into that oscillating structure. Being able to step out into something new with confidence and boldness, ready to conquer the world. Who wouldn't want that? Look, guys, as a coach, I'll meet with you every other week and we'll do a full 1 hour session. If you want me one-on-one, we'll meet every other week. The other week that we don't meet for that 1 full hour, that next week, we'll have a 15-minute accountability call so I can make sure that you're on track. And we can talk about any resistance that's coming up that you need to recode, that we need to shift. I also have group. You can join us in our group session. So it also cuts down on the cost, which I'll get to in a little while. I thank you and appreciate you sticking around for this. Living a life that I love, having that as my goal, being able to know that I can move towards something I want without having to go read another book or get more education. I mean, that might be a possibility if I don't already have it, but it's not something I have to do because I have to fix myself, you know? You don't have to go get that job to get that money to land that dream girl or boy or fit into that perfect group of people that you've always wanted to be a part of, you know? You can get up on the stage and make that speech. You can walk around spiders and not be scared. Even that. Fear of heights. Whatever blockage we have, we can move. We can shift. We can recode. Neuroplasticity, we can rewire, literally rewire our neurological connections to help us move on a different path, in a different way, without resistance. Isn't that great? Okay. Who is ready to experience the recode? I know, so exciting. Okay, so we're gonna get into a true choice. And thank you for listening to my sales pitch. And I'm gonna end it there, but if you are interested, please message me. Message me in Facebook, hit me up in the chat box, let me know. I'll run through my prices. Basically, to break it down real quick, you can pay in full for a year. For the group session, you can pay in full of $2,995, and you will get 3 months free. If you need to pay weekly, you can pay $49 a week for a year. For the one-on-one, it's a little more expensive because grouping group is a little easier for people to join to begin with, and so that's what I like to promote because it helps people feel more comfortable, you know. So the one-on-one sessions, you see, the normal price is $39.95 for 3 months. We recommend 12 months, but the one-on-one is pretty intense. So some people can be good to go at 3. So I do it in 3-month increments. If you pay in full, now these are discounted prices. The normal price for one-on-one is $3,995. today with this offer, if you pay in full, what did I mark it down to? Oh yeah, it's a full $1,000 off. So it's actually more than that because I marked it down to 1,995. And then, oh no, back up. Yeah, that's right. And then of course, you know, the weekly payments will be for a year, but pretty sure they're still $49. For some reason, I didn't write that in my notes. But yeah, so each group, no matter which package you decide to pick, each of them is going to get access to my Magnetic Mind Masterclass University, which is provided to me and my clients by Mr. Christopher Duncan. This is access to his university, his trainings, his teachings. So you're going to have access to him as a coach and to all of our other coaches that are on his board. And you get 9 meditations, which these are like 91 hours total of trainings, of intense recodes. Phenomenal, valued at $3,000. You're also going to get access to daily recodes, daily recode sessions with all the coaches at Conscious Education Company. That's a mouthful. Which is amazing. Every day you could go and potentially get a recode from a new coach, from a different coach. Just think of how fast you're going to move. That alone is valued at $3,000. And we have 6 recodes. So 6 days a week, you can go in and experience the recode and join in on the sessions. You also have access to the Magnetic Mind Meditation Hub. That is valued at $1,000, which that has 30 meditations in it, which are phenomenal. Like those alone are amazing without the recode. And some of them have the recode included in it as part of the meditation. Crazy cool. Okay, I'm almost 2 hours in. Let's go, guys. You ready? Just message me if you're interested. Ask me questions. Let me know. We're going to work on the true choice of I choose the end result of living a life that I love. And we phrase it that way because it's Chris found in his learnings and his teachings from all of his other teachers, his gurus. If it's worded that way, Dr. Gary Flint figured out how to train the superconscious, and this is the way that he trained it, basically. So that's what we're going to say. Basically, it sets up the subconscious, the unconscious, same thing, self-conscious and superconscious. All 3 of us, it gets us all 3 aligned, alert, ready to choose that we're all on board, that we're all aware, active, that we're choosing to live a life I love. That's what we want to go for, right? Once we start to get into it, that's when the breakdown happens. So you ready? Okay, first step. Let's say it. I choose the end result of living a life that I love. Now, we want to close our eyes, go into a visual of what you would have, what you would be doing, who you would be with, what town would you be in, what would you be experiencing. Let those visuals go through your mind, and at the same time, what would you be feeling? You're seeing a new city, you're feeling joy and happiness, you have financial abundance, so you have security, you have peace of mind, you have all these feelings flooding you because you're living a life you love. No resistance. Sure, there'll be issues that we have to deal with, but it's okay. We know with the good comes a little bad, but we're powerful. We take it right back to the good. And we go buy that boat that we want. We go buy that house that we always dreamed of, that dream vacation. And we're there and we're on the beach and we're experiencing it. And we're smelling the salty air, hearing the seagulls. Just feel it in every sense of you. Man, try to make it bigger. Try to expand it. Oh, it feels so good. So good. So now open your eyes and come back to me. And now we're going to relate that to our current. I want to live a life that I love. Currently, my current reality is not so much. My car is breaking down. I really don't like my job. I can barely pay my bills. I could use a new best friend right now because I just lost the one I had. It's not very cool, right? That's what I want. This is how it is. It's not good. It's not bad. Just our awareness of it. This is what I created now. For some reason, I created everything I have right now to keep me safe. We don't have to know why. It just is. But now we're choosing this one. Now we're aware and we're choosing this one. We see both points. We've experienced both points. We know both points, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring that resistance into the picture. We're going to ask ourselves, what would someone have to believe to not be able to have that desired reality? What would someone have to think? What would the person in this current reality have to believe to not be able to get this? That you're not good enough. I don't have enough education. Total imposter syndrome. I don't know what I'm talking about. I want a loving, healthy relationship and I'm single. There's no way I'm going to be able to get that because I'm just not good enough. You know, what story are you telling yourself? What judgments are you making? I would love to have a life that I love, but what are you telling yourself? But you're not good enough, but you're not supposed to, you're not allowed, you're not capable. You're too sick. You're scared. There's fear. How about fear of rejection? How about you're scared to go do that first step, which is go give that speech or go say hi to that guy or girl that you've always wanted to? Oh, crap. What judgments are you making? What judgments are you making on yourself? How about others? Are others judging you? Is that why you can't go? Are you judging yourself? How about the world? How is the world judging you? What does the world say about you that you can't go get your result? What is that saying? What are all those stories that you tell yourself when you think about going to live the life that you love? Let's take all of that resistance, everything that popped up, all those stories, all those feelings, and let's just put them in a big bubble. Put them in a huge bubble. And now I'm going to ask your permission to connect with your superconscious. And we're going to go shift them. We're going to go recode these. And we're going to get you able to take that first step. Now, sometimes those boulders are 40 years worth of I can'ts. Sometimes the superconscious can only chisel away at a little bit because that's what's safe for you right now. Because it's going to keep you safe no matter what. This is you. You are in complete control. Nothing can be done without your consent. This is why I ask permission to connect. So in the perfect way, in the perfect order, superconscious is going to create a treatment plan that's going to be just right for the resistance that it sees that you pulled up into the active experience right now. That's all it's working on. And I'm going to address you as superconscious when I'm in the field. And I need you don't have to do anything. Just sit back, eyes closed, relax. You don't have to do anything, but notice everything. And if you're ready, let's sit back and get comfortable. Take a big, deep breath for me. And either in your mind or out loud, give me permission to access your superconscious. Say, I give Breah permission to access my superconscious, to create a treatment plan, to move me towards feeling good and away from pain, to create a life of satisfaction and joy, and to move towards it. Just take a big, deep breath. And I ask that you give me permission. Just say, I give Breah permission to access my superconscious, to create more happiness. There you go. Thank you. I can communicate with superconscious through muscle testing. And superconscious, are you there? Yes. Superconscious, do you see the choice that we are all here making today? That we choose the end result of living a life that we love? Do you see that? Yes. Superconscious, I ask that you put a little marker on all that resistance that you see in our active experience. Tag it and treat it for a treatment plan. And superconscious, I ask that any other part of us, we have more than one personality, more parts of us, meaning we're different with our mom than we are with our boyfriend or girlfriend or husband. We're different than when we're at work versus when we're with our friends, right? We have those different aspects of us, those different parts. Superconscious, do you understand? Yes. If there's any parts that do not want to join the treatment plan or is not on board, superconscious, would you please just ask them and let them know that they're not going to die. Nothing will happen to them if they join the treatment team, that they can join the rest of us. A monopersonality works best. That we create a treatment plan to move towards happiness and satisfaction and away from pain, away from the trauma. And with the utmost respect and in the perfect way and perfect order, thank you. Big breath, everybody. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Good. Super conscious. Are all parts on board? Super conscious. I would like to speak to the protector controller. Please let them know. We know you're scared. We know this is a big change. We know you think that this isn't going to work. We ask that you just give it a try. That nothing is going to happen to you. You will not die. You will gain knowledge. You will gain wisdom, and you will be able to apply that wisdom to future experiences in a more educated fashion. The superconscious, would you let this part know exactly how old we are right now? Yes, superconscious, let that part know that we are no longer that little girl or little boy that we are grown, we are adult now. Thank you, superconscious. Thank you. Now that all parts are on board, all of us are aligned, all aspects are aware that we want to remove this resistance. Superconscious, I ask that you tag this resistance, and I ask that you treat it. And please do a massive change history and everything that's needed. Now, these are instructions that Dr. Gary Flint created that lets the superconscious know exactly how to recode and change that code sequence that those resistances, those blocks were laid down in. Just breathe. Just relax. Notice what's happening. You don't have to do anything. Take a big, deep breath. There you go. Superconscious, thank you. Superconscious, we're going to take it easy today. This is their first one. So in the perfect way, in the perfect order, in the right sequence, and the perfect amount. Do a massive change history and everything that's needed on the active resistance. And any other resistance that pops up into the field, to the active field, superconscious, now and after we have finished, please tag and treat. In the perfect way, perfect order, perfect sequence, perfect timing, the perfect amount. Do a massive change history and everything that's needed. The superconscious, I want to thank you. Yes, we are finished. Superconscious is done. Take a big deep breath, and superconscious, I would like to ground everything we worked on today. I like to ground memories 1, 2, and 3, Tana memories, past life memories, future, quantum, ground them all back into the matrix of the universe. Ground them all back to the matrix of the universe, superconscious, and we thank you. And guys, with your eyes still closed, take a big deep breath for me. And open your eyes and come back to me. And as I realized I wasn't even looking at the camera, welcome back. So I want you to know that you're still going to be processing, meaning you're still going to be making those connections. And superconscious is still going to be taking that old code and rewriting it. And it rewrites it into the good, how we felt going into it, right? So it changed everything. Did a massive change history on that code. Recoded it into the good feelings, the what we want. So our unconscious can experience that now. And this is why the fifth part is so important. Because if your first action step, so when you came out of that, what's the first thing you want to go do to go towards the life that you love? Whatever it is, whether it's go get a drink of water, go rest, go write that speech, go tell that person that you like them, whatever it is, go do the dishes, whatever it is, right? Go do it. Because when we don't go do it, we can change the code right back. We're telling our unconscious, really, we don't want that. What we really want is what we have now. Because we're not taking that step. Does that make sense? So take that step. And usually, got excited and I forgot to ask for your resistance number, but usually we do a measurement. You know how when you go to the doctor and they say, I forget what it's called right now, but it's a measurement on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you have no resistance in your river of desire. You're on a raft and you're free flowing. Or 10 being you have boulders everywhere. You cannot move. Your raft is nope, not going anywhere. If you can remember what your resistance was going in, I would love to know versus what it is now. So for instance, I went in with a resistance of, let's say 10. I can't move towards the life I love at all. But after doing that recode, I got a little bit of chisel, little sliver of that boulder got chipped away. So I feel a little better. I feel better than what I did before. I would say instead of a 10 now let's say I'm an 8. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you can go from 10 to 0, boom, major shift. It's phenomenal. But if you can let me know that measurement, if you know it or not, that's fine. I thank you for today, and I'm going to let you go. It's been 2 hours. Wow. My apologies, and I thank you for this time, and I cannot wait to share more with you. I will be more respectful of your time, and go live a life you love. Stay magnetic, and let me know how it went. Message me. Bye, everybody. Take care, okay? Remember, focus on what you want, not what is now. Got to be it to see it. Bye.